they are differentiable. If you put that function in, oh, I'm missing a pen. If you put that function in like this, you're putting your g inside your f. That's the composite. And if you want to figure out what your h prime is, this is what you do. You take the derivative of the outside function, but you keep the g inside, the regular g. And then you multiply it by the derivative of the inside. Here. So with this, so say what your f is, and then say what your g is. What is our f, the outside function, in this case? X squared. And the inside function? What's inside the x squared? Good, 2x minus 1. And then just take the derivative of each. So f prime of x is what? Good. And g prime of x is just 2. And then go back and just follow the formula. So our h prime is, and again you could write h prime of x, it is our f prime. So our f prime is 2x, but we don't keep x. We have to put our g, our original g, back in there. So instead of it being x, it's 2, and then 2x minus 1. We put the g of x inside, and then we multiply by our g prime.
Wait, miss, would you simplify that further?
So after you should expand and simplify, so you have 8x minus 4. So you can just distribute the 2 through, and if you wanted to, and then distribute that through as well. Or if you just multiplied these two, you could say 4 2x minus 1, and then expand it from there. So let's see, what's our f of x here? Perfect. And our g of x? What is it? Perfect. But this one, we don't write like that when we're doing derivatives, because we can't use the power. It's to the power of 1/2. Now that we have our derivatives, we have to find our h prime, which is, we take our f prime, 1/2 to the negative 1/2, but our g of x still has to be in there. What's g of x? Good, x squared minus 4. And then you have to multiply it by your g prime. What's g prime? Times 2x. So when I simplify, I always like to bring these together right here. And so if you do half times 2x, what do you get? You just get x. And then we have this here where we have something with a negative exponent. What do we do with that? Move it down. And there's your answer. So next one. We're going to make our own composite function. When you look at this, we have a function that's y not with respect to x. We have y with respect to u. But our derivative has to be y and x. So that first equation does nothing for us. Can we write that equation in another way, though, so that it is y's and x's? Yeah, just do the substitution. There's your function inside the other function. So those are your terms that you have. And now follow the chain rule. So our h prime, take your f prime, so negative 3. We don't want x though. We want what our g was. Our g is 2x minus x to the power of 3. And then we multiply by our g prime. 2 minus 3x squared. I like to take these, the two things you're multiplying, multiply them first, collect those. They're generally easier terms, so then you should have h prime is negative 3, 2 minus 3x squared, and then your 2x minus x cubed to the negative 4. And then all in one step, I'm going to bring this down, and I'm going to expand this. Just move. So your h prime will be negative 6 plus 9x squared over 2x minus x to the 3 to the power of 4. still have to sub in what our x is. And our x is 2. So we want h prime of 2. And what do you get? And that's what you should have. So now let's try this one. In the product rule, can you tell me what the f and the g would be? What's the f? Yep, 3x. And the g? Yeah, it's the two things that we are multiplying together. Can we find our f prime and our g prime? Perfect. We have 3 for our f prime. Now what about g prime? So those are the f prime and the g prime that we get. Just keeping in mind that our g prime was a chain rule, but we didn't have to do anything, right? It just happened on its own. From starting the product rule, we realized halfway through that we ended up having to use the chain rule. So always start with your product and your quotient rule. Now go back to this, because ultimately we haven't completed the product rule yet. So our h prime will be f prime 3 times g 1 minus x squared plus g prime times f. And then from here, you would expand and simplify.